guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chisom Moku, and if you're new on this channel, I'm a software engineer and YouTuber based in Lagos, Nigeria. If you're not new, it's good to have you back. On this video, I'll be sharing 5 tips or ways that you can overcome imposter syndrome as someone that's in tech space. At some point in your tech career, you're going to experience imposter syndrome where you're constantly feeling like a fraud, you're doubting your abilities, and this usually occurs when you hit a new milestone, like getting a promotion at work, getting your first job or internship, or basically just achieving some certain kind of things that you quote as successful. And you start living with the fear that you're going to get caught by your colleagues or someone that's actually paying you for a service. Certain phases of my life, I personally have experienced imposter syndrome, and it usually comes and goes. The first phase was when I was trying to look for my first job. I knew I did not have experience, but I knew confidently well that I had the skills that job needed. And sometimes when I reach out to these companies for them to interview me, and I get really surprised that these people reach out to me for interviews, and I'm like, oh my god, these people might think I'm a fraud. I don't feel like I'm meant to be in this space. Secondly, even when I finally got the job, when I started working at Microsoft and I had like PRs to push, I had deliverables, and when I actually get these tasks done and I get like a thumbs up from my manager, I'm feeling agitated already. I'm like, it's going to be a matter of time when these people will realize that I'm not meant to be here. My skills are not enough for me to work in this kind of organization. And other things like speaking engagements or writing my first book or even starting this YouTube channel, imposter syndrome has come and it has gone. The first method I would suggest for you to overcome imposter syndrome is track and record your little to small wins. I mean, anything you do at work, anything you do like on a personal project and get like thumbs up from people, an emoji, and you just get a certain kind of appreciation or applause for what you've done, that should be what you should record as a little win. This is something that you can look back in your book, so you can see how much effort that you put into something and you're like, if I did this, then it gives you more motivation to push ahead. Second step is to remember that you train for what you have and be confident that you deserve it. When applying for a job, you know that you're going to be studying a lot of DS and algorithms, data structures, going to be studying system design. So when you finally get the job and you're feeling like, I'm not meant to be here, remember all those late nights you spent studying for those interviews, doing mock interviews with people, and putting yourself out there for the job force to see you. And so remember all that work that you put in. You might not even be looking for a job. It might be when you're trying to write an examination or when you're preparing for a certification, and you tend to like remember all the nights that you stayed up. It helps, and you just know that, okay, I trained for this and I deserve this, which is the outcome. Step 3 will be drawing from past experiences and remembering that you've done it before. Usually if you're given something to do at work, I would always recommend you writing it down in a journal to remind yourself that this is what you worked on and these are the good reviews that you got. So you look at those things, you look at those tasks that you did that got your manager saying, oh, you did a really good job, and you're getting more motivated to know that, okay, if you've done this before, the task that you're working on might not be the same, but since it's similar and you got like the capacity to carry on previous tasks from beginning to the end, then you can do this one perfectly. The fourth is focusing on understanding the work. I personally believe that sometimes what makes us feel like imposters sometimes could be ignorance. If you're very confident of what you know and you're very confident of what you trained for, focusing on the work and delivering shouldn't be so hard. In quotes, ask necessary questions if you're joining a company for the first time. If you're given a project to work on for the first time, know more about the product and ask questions to make sure that you're fully interwoven with the things that you're meant to do or the things that are required of you. And the fifth and final tip is share with a friend. Most times when you share your worries and doubts with somebody that is really close to you, you're trying to like mirror exactly what you feel to that person. And when you do this, your friend is going to help you like decode everything that you're doubtful of, and sometimes reassure you when you're in a place where your confidence or your self-esteem is quite low. Yeah, this was a really short video. Lastly, don't forget that you are not an imposter, and where you find yourself now, in a job or in a career, whatever field that you're in, you deserve your spot and you earned that spot 100%. Someone else is not more qualified to be in that space than you. Imposter syndrome is something that's very normal. The best of us experience it once in a while, so it's something that will definitely come and go. So do not let it overwhelm you, and do not be in that cycle for so long. See you guys in the next video. Bye.